When I was in college, I used to actually, if I bought a pair of jeans, I would remove the label.
Why so?
I felt embarrassed about wearing a label. I cannot live in rubbed off glory. I should announce myself.
So you're a victim of reputation and perception.
Exactly, because it means that people feel, hum Ram ko kaise bolenge? Number one. Number two, he's not interested. Number three, he's too big. Number four, will he actually, sort of do it at this budget?
What does it mean to us? What should we do, in your opinion? How to get ready for that?
At some point, AI will become sentient by that data of their own past lives, right? I think we will become half that. You must.
Ram, welcome.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad. Thank you so much.
Shukriya.
I think with the pivot we are taking in this season, going more beyond gender and beyond labels and boxes, the first name which came to me was your name, because what I've seen of you from the outside is that you have led a life of reinventing yourself to become the masterpiece you are. And
the work in progress that we all are.
That's the modest part of Ram. That exactly what makes you the masterpiece, because when you call yourself work in progress, you mastered short films, advertisement.
I have mastered being work in progress.
Okay, lovely. So let's talk about this work in progress. This show is absolutely not about what all we know about you. We are going to go deep and go back in the memory lane if you allow us. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. Ask whatever you want. Okay. I'm here to... but I think just to talk about where I am currently in the feature world and the series world, which is, sort of one facet or two facets. And then in the advertising world, where I'm now reaching out to people saying, hey, I would like to reinvent. I am hungry. And so first, let me just advertise myself to all you advertising people who are listening out there. I'm around and I'm not a master. I'm getting to a position of not knowing. And right now, I'm suffering from perception and I'm suffering from reputation.
So you're a victim of reputation and perception.
Exactly, because it means that people feel, hum Ram ko kaise bolenge? Number one. Number two, he's not interested. Number three, he's too big. Number four, will he actually, sort of do it at this budget? So I want to just say to everybody in advertising who's listening out there that I am yet and very passionate about advertising.
Okay.
Now that that's out of the way, this podcast is over as far as I'm concerned, because that's the only reason I came. Masterpiece.
So we're going to take all those labels.
Myself. Yes.
Now we're going to look at taking all those labels off you. Whatever you just said.
In the sense that we were talking earlier, we were talking about labels and labeling. And when I was in college, I used to actually, if I bought a pair of jeans, I would remove the label.
Okay.
Even if it was Levi's or Wrangler.
Why so?
I felt embarrassed about wearing a label. And so, in fact, I just don't understand why people go around wearing those big, whatever that those labels are. And I come from advertising and I respect those brands. Obviously, I respect Levi's. Obviously, and it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And, to have owned a pair at that stage of my life was a big deal, because otherwise you were actually tailoring your jeans, right?
Yes.
And you are not from that generation, but I remember when we first, or even any of those shoes. But I try not to wear labels, or I try, if I have to, then I try and see if I can hide what that label. So if it's anything which is labeled, then why is that? Let me I think it's really out of embarrassment, but I shall use that as a symbol and a metaphor and make it more poetic.
Okay. What does it do to you when you see a label? Because you said, kya karta hai? Do you feel restrictive? Do you feel it's not you? You don't identify with it?
I feel that I cannot live in rubbed off glory.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, because I don't own a car which announces me before I arrive at a studio gate. I feel embarrassed about that car announcing me. I should announce myself. And if I can't, and if I don't, and that's also okay. So it's really stupid to say that I used to remove labels. But yeah, it is true. I don't like wearing labels. And like we were talking about this song, which is Bhala Hua Meri Gagri Phuti, Main Panya Bharan Se Chuti, which for all those people who are listening in, basically it's good that the matka that I carry broke, so that I'm relieved of the burdens of filling water every day. And it's a song which basically really is about, in some ways, identity and labeling. And the fact that, and really it's actually coming from, sorry, I'm going to go maybe a little, I'm going to go into the story of Soni Mahiwal.
Sure.
Okay. And Soni Mahiwal, so Soni fell in love with Mahiwal, and obviously, as these stories go, she was not allowed to marry Mahiwal, and so she married somebody else. But Mahiwal was opposite the river, on the river bank, and obviously Mahiwal had left everything like all such lovers do, and he used to play the flute. So she used to, after marriage, she used to swim across the river to meet him in the night. Obviously, it was a forbidden love. And she used to carry a matka as a lifeguard. So that was how she swam across, because the matka was...
She used to hold on to it.
Yeah, the matka to actually... It was a flotation device.
Got it. Yes, got
it. What happens one day, according to the story, I think it was her sister-in-law or somebody basically, doesn't break the matka, but puts an unbaked matka.
Which breaks.
Which dissolves and breaks. Now, when she's swimming, therefore, she dies. But the song says that it's not, because it's obviously a tragedy and it's about lovers and like all Laila Majnu and all the rest of that, right? But the song says she feels, thank God that my matka broke, because now I am relieved I'm free. I can be part of the river. I can be part of this life. And
so spiritual and philosophical.
And obviously Mahiwal also jumps in after her. All that is part of the story. But the symbol and the metaphor of that story is actually, and just 2 lines. And those 2 lines actually speak about, all the things that we carry and that you carry. And I'm very, very interested, obviously, in the roles that especially women play. Because like, you are a mother, you're a wife, you're a friend, you're a colleague, you're a boss, you're whatever in your family, a daughter, a sister, all of these are these roles that all these women carry, which are these multiple hats that women wear. And then at which point are you what?
Yes.
And how do you decide? And that's what I wanted to ask you.
Okay. So guys, you have your promo. We were really trying hard to shoot a promo right before you came, Ram. Thank you so much.
How do you carry, and how do all women actually wear these multiple hats? But more important than the talia part of carrying and wearing those hats is really what makes you as a person navigate which hat to wear when?
Okay, specifically me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you a very spiritual question.
Good, because that's what it should be. And I'm so happy now. I've changed the light from me onto you. I'm so happy.
And she's not very happy with that. But anyway, I'll take the question. For me, it's spiritual. For me, it's spiritual because it just doesn't let me cling to any role, but still take the max out of it, because I'm so present and so aware of what I'm doing in that moment.
Hey, so you can't give yourself passing certificate like this, huh? Aisa kya hai? You've given yourself full A marks, and then +10 for good handwriting also. What is this? You should be
the maximum learnings. The maximum learnings in life, Ram, has been where I have got stuck. with the A role and not been able to move out.
Now I'm getting to receive
some signals,
an
some
honest
signals,
answer,
some provocation.
rather than you having arrived at nirvana in your life.
वो outcome है. That is a desired outcome.
But it seems to be what you are telling me that you're living, and you're telling me that you're practicing.
Yes.
But I will not believe it.
You won't believe it. Then I'll have to tell you all the drama.
That's what I want to hear.
That's why you're here for your next drama.
Exactly. I want to hear
You're not getting it wrong. We're going to get it from you.
I want to hear about the moral choices that you go through.
Yes.
Every day.
Every day.
Because otherwise what's happening is that we are... because you see, I have met people who, like Amita's father, was a very centered human being. And obviously those are aspirations that I presume I will never get to or I'll never be. But you can't tell me that you are. Okay, I will not accept it.
Okay, so... repeat the question again.
So first, the question was about the fact that how do you wear all these roles, and when do you decide? Like, let's say, when are you mother? When are you wife? When are you friend? Let's say with your son. Okay. When are you? Let's say if you have two hats to wear there. Okay, one is mother and friend. And do you actually consciously? Obviously, you don't consciously decide, but like, how do you
maneuver between the roles?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you punish yourself or
for
self-punish?
Neglecting something?
Yeah, exactly.
Over one over the other.
Exactly. Or I should have said, I should not have. Or I
all
was
the
that.
Time. All
now
the
I'm
time.
feeling better. You see, that
all
means
the time.
you've not. So that's good.
There's a balancing act.
Yeah.
And it's all the time.
Yeah.
And it's.
But you are balancing it, or you're falling off that tightrope?
I think I am reached the age and time right now that I'm able to balance it.
Really?
But it's come with a lot of...
I think I better ask your son.
And my husband.
And your husband, I know.
I mean, yeah, their perspectives could be very, very different from mine. Absolutely.
No, but I tell you, whenever I've met you, you have come across as somebody, I think it's in the way you hold yourself, it's in the way you walk, it's in the way you sit. There is a certain stirness that you have. Okay. Which, so therefore, even though I'm pulling your leg and I'm joking about this, and, you know, I was not willing to receive that answer, but I do actually receive that energy.
Okay.
So therefore, you know, I don't
you,
mean
Ram.
to,
Thank you, Ram. I would take anything graciously from you.
Okay. No, it is the truth.
Because I also know you.
Right.
And I know you that...
no, so whenever even you walk into the room and, you know, even if there's a conversation and we're in a meeting, whatever, you're like, I've often told Amita, you're centered. Now, that means you're breathing, obviously, you know, from the hara. I mean, that is one of the ways that you can be centered. So I have to constantly remind myself to be breathing and existing from a different plane. So Gandhiji used to meditate every day, right, for an hour. And once he had a really, really busy day. And so he came out and he said, look, this is a really busy day. I normally meditate for an hour. I think today I'll meditate for 2.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
Okay, that changes that.
That
and
changes
we're
that,
no longer talking about the things that, you know,
we just spoke about.
That we just spoke about. But the things that I make, whether it's Neerja or Aarya, wherever it's women in the center of the work that I'm doing, apart from it being strong women, I'm constantly worrying about the moral choices that they have to make in these hats that they have to wear.
Yeah.
So which is why I was asking you, and therefore I ask all the women that I come across. It's amazing. I'm surrounded by strong women and I don't know how they do it.
I know you spoke about it all the time and you continually speak about it.
Right.
These two content pieces, I mean, the web series and the movie which you made.
Right.
Was it by design or you?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's not like... It's difficult making anything which has a woman in the center because the returns of investment, the people who are like financially in terms of marketing, there's all that comes your way, right? If you have a hero, then it's an easier thing to mount. And, you know, I'm just putting on the producer hat for a moment. But so I didn't want to, I didn't do it in a conscious kind of way. but obviously I prefer working with women rather than men. But the thing is that when it happened that they were in the center, and then actually when I made a film called Dhamaka, which was a remake, there the main antagonist was actually a man, but now I made it into a woman, the character. And now more and more I consciously say to myself, I have to put, like there's another film that I'm writing currently, that we are writing, and it's a hero and an antagonist.
Yeah.
And now I'm consciously making sure that I have a strong woman's role in it.
Okay.
So now I am making, like it's conscious. It wasn't conscious during Neerja and Aarya, but now I am doing it consciously.
Okay. And so is the environment right now, right? There's so much more which is coming out with human stories about women. I see a lot more which is noticeable.
Well, first of all, I'm the wrong gender. I should, if I was making that, I should be a woman. But some of the best writing about women have been done, or films have been done about women by men, and vice versa. So I don't think that we can actually, sort of say that, that's not what you said, but still, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So while we are in the moment and in the present, I just want to go back in time, Ram.
There is nothing like this moment.
Okay. All right.
It's
Time
gone.
Stamp.
It's gone.
It's gone. Okay.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. Tell me, in your childhood,
right?
When is the first time you realized, मुझे storytelling में मजा आ रहा है?
Oh gosh. So I'll tell you a little bit about this, but I think I've said it very often in the past, and I think I'll have to stop speaking because I have nothing new to say. So as it is, a lot of the time you're so worried that you're borrowing from other people, all your life. Do I have a single new thing to put out there?
It's your story.
Yeah. Well, so I'll tell it again.
Okay.
So my family was in a small town called Barsi, which is outside Sholapur. And then I did schooling in a place called St. Peter's, Panchgani. So I had both these, sort of upbringings. So my holidays were spent in Barsi. And my parents sent me to a boarding school because they thought an English school. And obviously since then I'm now colonized. But the good thing about that was that on Saturday evenings, every Saturday, our school used to convert the assembly hall into a theatre.
Achha.
And there used to be these big trunks that used to come, which had the film rolls. And I used to be so excited to see what is that film that we were going to see that Saturday. So that was my first memory. And my friend says that also that projector, the film used to burn. And I think I got intoxicated by the smell of burning film. I got high. Meanwhile, when I used to go to Barsi, my family knew the theatre owners, and they happened to be 4 theatres named after the Mangeshkar sisters.
Okay.
Asha, Lata, Usha, Chitra.
Achha.
Okay, so the theatre called Asha was closest to us. So whenever I had nothing to do, even if the theatre was house full, I would go there. I would be given a special chair because the family knew the owners. And then I would be given mangola. Now that also tells you my age. And be given popcorn or whatever. And I could watch a movie as many times as I wanted.
Okay.
To me, that theatre experience was literally like being in a womb. It was the safest place. It was a place where, as my friend said to me, it's a place where you can forget yourself and remember yourself, both. And so that's the reason why, if you asked me when I was like in standard 10, I was 15, 16, I was probably the only guy in school who'd put up his hand and say, I want to be a film director. That's what I've always wanted to be.
That's clarity. I mean, when looking at in that cinema hall, you could have said, yeah, mujhe actor banna hai, writer banna hai. Could be anything, right? You were very specific. You said, I want to direct films.
By nature, I'm shy. And the business has taught me to speak, but we are all introverted, as you are, okay, and we've all had to manage the circus and put ourselves out there. But I never wanted to be an actor, and I have acted, including at the Film Institute, because I was meant to join the Film Institute.
Okay.
And the night before I was meant to, so I'd given my exam, then they called me for the interview, and then Shumantra Ghoshal, my guru, my mentor, and at that time, my boss said to me, "Why are you going to the Film Institute? Join me as a partner."
Okay.
And so that's how I got into Equinox. Now Anita and me own it thanks to him.
Yeah.
But he literally, and for a while I really mirrored him, which was like, if he wore kurta pajama, I wore kurta pajama. So a lot of my upbringing, my thinking is thanks to him.
Got it. Got it. So Ram, just going at your journey, right? Like I know you've spoken enough, but आपने जो pivots लिए हैं from advertising to OTT, television, OTT, and then AI, which you're doing now.
Yes.
It seems
and continuously advertising.
And continuously advertising, guys. Yes. There is obviously this huge energy in you, which is wanting to channelize itself, irrespective of formats, platforms. And you're saying whatever comes in your way as technology, whatever new is being thrown at you, you are just taking it all in. Bring it on. I'm here. I'm that quintessential storyteller. Irrespective of the challenges and the changes, I'm here. And I think that's the message you're also trying to put there, right? Looking at your trajectory so far.
First of all, the root word of technology comes from techne. Techne is a Greek word called which means art. Okay.
Okay.
So, in the very word itself, so how can you not embrace technology? Because it is the very nature of art. Anything that happened in cinema, from sound to cinema verite to faster lenses to anything that happened, was because of technology. And so if you don't embrace technology, you can't embrace
Tell
art.
the storytelling properly.
Exactly.
The way you want to.
Yeah. And those are just things that you use as one of them. I can't say, I'm not going to use the zoom lens, or trolley mere ko nahi, why should I use it?
बहुत बेस बोल रहे हो कि अगर आपके specs में eyes में problem है, तो you'll wear specs because you want to see the world properly.
Yeah.
And if you're a storyteller, you want to tell that story properly, obviously you will adapt.
I did the Kindle ad when it came to India, and a lot of people, and I love the Kindle, okay? And I read about 30 or 40 books a year, but I read it on my Kindle, and everybody says to me, but the smell of paper, and we love books, and all the rest. And I say, then, when books started getting printed with the printing press, you could have said at that time that, we're not wanting to read books because I'd rather read on a rock, because that's what it was before. Now, why don't you go to sleep with a rock and start, moving rocks in your bed as you turn the page of that rock?
Okay.
So I want to innovate. I embrace new stuff. And I think that the anxiety is not about, it's the anxiety of being allowed to continue to practice what I've been wanting to do from age 15, 16. So it's really that. So anything that helps me practice that, and anybody, or I feel, oh gosh, I'm not able to practice it because people are not going to give me work, or the work didn't work, and then the anxiety comes, but then how will I, it's not work, it's breathing.
Ram, what is your process in terms of moving through this jungle of innovation?
So I do tend to put down things, and I do tend to articulate stuff, and I do tend to analyze stuff, and I'm interested in the process, and I hope that the analysis does not lead to paralysis, and sometimes I hope that the intellectual rigor doesn't lead to intellectual rigor mortis. But I do break things down.
Okay.
I do like looking at stuff, and a friend of mine said once to me, Ram, if you'd have just stayed quiet for the last half an hour and suddenly come up with that idea, people would have thought you're a genius. But you spoke for half an hour and you said this, and what about this, and how about this, and how about that, and doing this and all the rest. And by that time, people were so tired. That you should have just done all this inside yourself rather than speaking it aloud. So, but I call it circling the beast. Okay, so there is the beast, which is the very idea or the story or what you want to make or whatever that creative problem is. Now, you have to circle that. You can't, before you prod it, you have to prod it, you have to understand it, you have to figure it out. And it takes people who work with me have now got used to this circling the beast.
Okay.
But a lot of people, like I remember, I asked somebody who, was working in a films department in an agency. I said, "Arey yaar, why you're not giving me work anymore?" So he said, "राम का प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, वो बहुत मेहनत करता है यार, क्यों दे उसको यार, बहुत मेहनत करता है." Okay, so I said, when did that become like, yeah, okay, it's not easy. Okay, I am somebody who's bangs his head and works at it
Passionately.
well,
Yeah.
frustratingly also, but and for others it's most certainly frustratingly, but like there is a difference between Mozart and Beethoven. Okay, Mozart, it came to him. Beethoven, he was also a plodder. Okay, not to say that I'm comparing myself to either, but there are some people who feel it should come and it should be easy, and I don't like the word organic. Okay, though I used it and I felt so bad using it, but I don't like the word organic. Nothing is organic. Okay. Everything has
to be designed.
Yeah, it has to be. It's a process. It's thought. ऐसा नहीं कि अभी अरे सुबह मैंने एक idea, ऐसा नहीं होता है. Okay, it is something which you have to meet it halfway. You cannot allow inspiration to strike you. You have to work at inspiration.
You have to work at inspiration. Interesting. Ram,
I wish I could tell people it's far more romantic, and I am envious of those people where it happens in the other way, and it's so romantic to say it. नहीं, मुझे तो सिर्फ वो आता है, भगवान ने दे दिया, ऐसे channel, ऐसा, and like I feel envious about those people, because I say, wow, that's amazing, that you can actually, sort of for me, and so I speak about it because my work, thankfully now, has been acknowledged and continues hopefully to be acknowledged, and therefore for those people who are like me, who work at it, I say, don't be embarrassed about working at it, okay? Because there are many people and many ways to actually work or getting ideas, etc. Example, and whenever that you feel that I'm, my name is Ram, so it is like the Ramayana. So whenever I speak too much, just stop me, okay? But otherwise, I'll go from here to there before I come back to some. But example. Sure. So what is an idea? Okay, they say the definition of an idea is a new combination of two old elements.
Okay.
Okay, that's all that an idea is. Now that is very heartening to know in today's age, because E.M. Foster said, therefore, only connect. Okay, now I've lived my life with this. Okay, the more that I read, the more that I know, the more that I see, the more that I go to museums, the more that I listen to music, the more I can connect. Okay, and when I connect to disparate things, then it becomes a new thing. Now that's exactly what AI is doing. Okay, because it is taking all the data that is in the world and now connecting it. Okay, and now I'm looking at it and saying, so was I only a creature of data that was fed into me, which I actively, sort of was seeking, and therefore am I just limited by the data that was fed into me, just like AI is currently, and is therefore the definition of an idea a new combination of two old elements, or can there actually, in me and in AI, ever be a whole new idea? Or, because it is so limited by the data that was fed into us, and everything that we are in our past lives and in our collective growth from our parents and our friends and our education and our teachers and whoever that affected the data that was being put into us.
Yes.
Right? That is who we have become. And at some point, AI will become sentient by that data of their own past lives, right? So now the question really that I'm asking is,
how does this converge?
First, like, is this data that has been put into you, which is also being put into AI in different ways?
Yes.
Are you limited by that data, or are you actually
beyond that?
Lovely.
I think it's a question which is keeping me awake and making me listen to a lot more podcast on AI.
Yeah, exactly.
The last
and at some point, the sentientness of that.
Yes.
Okay, and hopefully, at some point, even the centeredness of AI.
Yes.
Okay, which let's say you're feeling at a certain point because of the breathing that you do.
The conscious AI, whenever that happens.
Exactly, whenever that happens.
Yeah.
Is it going to be limited by the data that was fed into it? Now, supposing today, like example, there's a great film that everybody must see. It's called Humans in the Loop.
Okay.
It's a 74-minute film, and it's about this data, inputter in Jharkhand. Okay, and that person has been told to now identify and put various data in. And a lot of the data which you're putting into AI, whether it's coming from Jharkhand or Venezuela, where people are getting paid per bit and byte, whatever, okay, or per minute, of identifying what that is. That is why a car that is self-driven may get into an accident because it was not able to recognize that particular data shape that it was fed into.
Fair enough.
Okay, so therefore I keep saying to myself, if I therefore want to become sentient myself, do I need to feed into me every sentient data?
Okay, so I'll approach this in a different way. What you're just saying.
For all you people out there, this is the time when you stop listening, because it's already too much to take.
And if you're staying back,
then you will discover what it means to become sentient.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your Q&A. Again, spiritual take on this.
Right.
If we were to start accessing more of the superconscious,
yes,
then technically all the data of everything around you is part of you.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
What AI is doing and what we are trying to do, we are on a similar trajectory.
Right.
Who's going to come first? We don't know. Mission Impossible actually showed AI as an entity and taking over the world, the wars happening, all of that. So I think that's the speculation which is keeping me very intrigued, because that part nobody knows how humans are going to handle this, and thereon what happens.
Now there's this book which is talking about consciousness, which is called Secret of Secrets, which is by Dan Brown. And the book really talks about how is it that people have a psychic sixth or seventh sense, okay, which is that you can actually, there are people who can see into, and we've read about obviously monks and all the rest that have been practicing this.
See into time,
exactly.
clairvoyance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so all of that, right? And I won't give spoiler for what the book is about, but it's really about this, and it's about consciousness. And the nice thing about it was that when I was looking at the AI part of consciousness versus the human part of consciousness, when we are tapping into that consciousness, and whoever can, which is around us at all times, will AI know and be able to tap into that consciousness? So at some point I want to make a film where in the Bhagavad Gita, imagine if in Kurukshetra, if Lord Krishna was there, and if an AI creature actually went there and tapped him on his shoulder and said, "Excuse me, Lord Krishna, I'd like to ask you some questions."
Sorry.
about consciousness. That is a film that I want to make.
Bizarre. Excuse me, I know the chapter so far,
exactly,
but
I know. Because that was fed into me, right?
Yeah.
That data was fed into me.
Yeah.
The
But
Bhagavad Gita was fed into me.
How beyond that?
Yeah. So now, exactly. Now, can you tell me? I mean, obviously I understand it, but now
You've seen the movie Lucy?
no, I want to see it. I've not seen it.
So
Yeah.
in Lucy, obviously she's under some, some sort of a chemical
Hypnosis or hallucination. Yeah.
She takes some drugs.
Exactly. Yeah.
And she starts accessing her full part of her brain. It starts with 5%, 10, 25, 30, 40. So there's show grades of what happens to her. And the moment she reaches 99%,
right,
she sort of dissolves.
Wow.
And that's what they say, the people who are entering Mount Kailasha, what's happening to them, why their bodies are not found. The conspiracy theory is that it is so heightened energy that the physical matter dissolves.
It just becomes energy.
It just dissipates.
Yeah.
It dissipates.
No, I am a believer in like reincarnation, because I feel that certainly in Hindu, sort of philosophy and teachings, when you do become part of matter, you do become part of energy, and that matter and energy will therefore it is there. So you are reborn as somebody breathing and living that.
Yeah. Yeah. What we're talking about is awareness. Now, we call that sentient in case of AI, and the moment it reaches that awareness and it knows that it's aware.
Yes.
Right now, it doesn't know because we are prompting it and it's reacting and responding. But there's a lot of news around what's happening actually. It's already started becoming more intelligent.
Well, it's right now those neurons are connecting, through whatever has been fed into it. But when will that synapse and that neuron suddenly be able to expand that?
Just connect at an exponential level and speed.
I think, before climate change happens and before all those chips in their farms, sort of warm the earth, hopefully AI will get consciousness before its very self, and what feeds it kills it.
What does it mean to us? What should we do, in your opinion? How to get ready for that?
I think we will become half that. You must. I mean, there is no other option.
There is no other option.
There is no other option. I suppose at some point this arm of mine will not be this kind of arm, but it'll be a different kind of arm. And therefore, there will be some chip and some battery and something that I will be accessing.
It's already happening with the Meta Ray-Ban.
Exactly, yeah. Which is why right now in virtual reality, we've now made an AI film using AI, but on virtual reality, because I feel that that's something and it's on the Bhagavad Gita, and we want to take it out there, and we have a distribution plan for it.
That's a very big project. I was listening to you somewhere. It's a startup. And the point is that because you are a master when it comes to innovation, and you have a large heart jump into it.
But please don't throw those words at me. I think that as soon as I keep telling people, sometimes they send me these messages on Guru Purnima and Happy Teachers Day, and I keep telling them, you'll retire me soon. I'm not a master. I'm a learner. I'm a struggler. And we're all co-learners and we're all co-mentors.
How many strugglers are jumping into AI the way you've jumped into it, Ram?
But I think that you cannot actually, as soon as you acknowledge the word master, so if you use that word, I will be, I will react to that word.
Understood. So,
you are a learner, storyteller.
Hey Ram, a work in peace storyteller.
Yeah, exactly. Work in progress, learning, struggling, storyteller.
Yeah. Work in progress, storyteller. Can you tell me about your AI project?
No, it's really, I'll tell you what happens. Virtual reality is, a lot of my friends don't even know that there are these headsets that you put on. And it's suffering from shelving. People buy it, and then even when they try to do it for gaming, and nobody wants to really use it, and it's such fantastic usage. So right now I keep telling people I'm in the Dadasaheb Phalke stage of VR.
Great for kids, the future generation.
Exactly.
Because I don't think we are doing justice to give all of that.
So therefore, and I don't want to do that in a documentary, pravachan kind of way. I want to do it to you in a way in which you feel that divinity. Okay. Obviously, when you're going there, you are feeling that. You're feeling it from the very presence of those many years of reverberation that is there within the being itself that is there. My father, who expired when I was very young, but there was these books that used to be around us in home, at our homes, and it was from the Bharati Vidya Bhavan, and so there was my experiments with truth, and there was the Bhagavad Gita, and there was all of that. And then Amita's father, who's also a Sanskrit scholar and a freedom fighter and an Ayurvedic doctor, and all of that. And so this surrounded me, and when these things become part of the osmosis of it comes into you. So even in Neerja, I'll use the Mahamrityunjay mantra. Whether it's an Aarya, I've got the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly wanting to be the philosophical filmmaker.
Okay.
But obviously I'm doing it with drama, and I'm doing it with thrills, and I'm doing it with emotion, and I'm doing it with moral choices, and I'm doing it all of that. But yes, sound is something which is part of this oral tradition of receiving all the stuff that we have been receiving. So I have now read every version of the Ramayana there is. Okay, so I've read Tulsidas, I've read Valmiki, I've read Kamba, I've read. So there's many versions.
Yeah.
And so I constantly actually do want to, you don't need to read the Ramayana because you know it. Okay, but I've also read it. Everybody knows the Ramayana.
Yeah.
But and you don't need to read it, but I wanted to also read it. So currently now it's impossible to read the whole Mahabharata. So now I'm again revisiting the Mahabharata and rereading that. So,
okay. And when you're rereading that and revisiting it, how much of that is having an implication on the projects which you're doing?
It's direct.
It's direct.
It's direct. I mean, that's the reason that I'm using that as part of my data.
Understood. Yeah.
Because I'm connecting that and I'll make something new out of it.
Very nice.
So I have to. This is my sauce.
Got it.
So
your source code.
Yeah,
your codex.
exactly. And this is my secret sauce also.
Got it. Shh. It's out, guys. Ram's secret sauce is out.
Is all of this, which is part of who we are.
Yes.
I did a course many years ago in NYU when I was young. And I had the opportunity, I could have stayed back. My brother's in New York, and I decided to come back here to practice as a filmmaker living out of our country, telling stories that are ours. I went to the AI Film Festival. I was part of the jury of the first AI Film Festival. And they said to me, what do you suggest that, how do we make it better? I mean, apart from many things that I'd spoken about, I said, first, get our stories rooted. Because right now, the data that is being fed into AI is also cultural colonization. Because there's a lot of data which is Western, and there is not enough data that is going in which is Eastern.
Yeah.
So I'm up in arms. You first colonized our space, then you colonized our mind, and now you're colonizing our data.
Ram, I heard you say that AI imagery or visuals, the only thing which is missing is that it doesn't look like uske andar life hai. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, because that's what I heard you saying, and that's exactly what you feel when you look at AI images, right? If it's only an image and not like interspersed with sounds and storytelling, then it just doesn't say anything to me.
Well, it is currently at a animation kind of phase, right? It's anything which is in that animation kind of phase. Now, we've not yet become, like now they call them prompt engineers, right? You're not a director, you're a prompt engineer.
Yeah.
So we've not yet perhaps got to the level where we are using it as well as we should. We will soon. But when you see the Bhagavad Gita that we have done, you will feel that. So I think a lot of it is perhaps not being used well.
Got it.
So
it's basically the learning curve we are going through.
Yeah, exactly.
So now the secret sauce is out, and now we know why you picked up an audacious project like this, because you are driven by divinity and supported by the data. In the search of it. The seeker.
Yeah, exactly.
The seeker Ram. Ram seeking Ram.
As anybody will tell us, why are you out there seeking it? It's inside you. So
have you figured that out yet,
Ram? Of course, we know all of this. Of course, it's inside us. But to tap into that, and obviously, you should not be seeking outside. And obviously, we are all we've read enough to understand all of this, but to practice it
and to stay in that that space.
Yeah. And for all those people who turn around and say, for me it's very easy, I can like that, and I say, I wish I could. I am envious of you, and I wish someday I would get there, but currently I am not. Even though I've read enough and I know enough and I practice enough and I breathe every day and I do my meditation too and I do all of that, but no, I am yet not sentient. AI will become sentient before me.
And that's your biggest worry right now. Okay, so coming to, because Amita shared quite a bit about you guys and your routine,
Right.
which is very sacred. Okay, so tell us about your ritual. I know it's very dear to you.
No, in the sense that, I think as a filmmaker, you lead a very indisciplined life. Shooting can be any time. And you yet have to continue to work hard. It's a very strenuous job. It's not a desk kind of a job. It's a job that you have to be on your feet.
Yeah.
And and Martin Scorsese is still making movies post 80, and Clint Eastwood is making movies post 90, and and I also want to be there making those movies post 80 and post 90, because the very nature of our jobs is not disciplined because of the timings that we have, and so 2 or 3 things that we decided to do. One, we take a health holiday.
Okay.
So our holidays, you can go to Goa, but as soon as you go to Goa, you're going to end up drinking and eating. So we try and get to, and certainly I do this 2 weeks a year minimum.
Lovely.
I go for an Ayurvedic detox.
Wonderful.
Okay, so so that I can then tox after that.
So this is the Panchkarma Ayurvedic
Yes.
treatments.
So sometimes I go for 2 weeks, sometimes I go for 3 weeks. So that happens to me every year because I'm not able to, sort of make it a daily thing. Like you make it I am doing obviously a daily thing. So there is meditation for half an hour. I do exercises 3 times a week, and we go for our walks and all of that you do, and you try and see how you can do your intermittent fasting, but then a lot of it is all not as, sort of disciplined as you'd like.
Sure. So, Ram, you and I have discussed a lot about your 360 process.
Yes.
Right. And I'm also aware of this entire piece on the hero's journey.
Right.
For me, as as a coach and a mindfulness coach, it's the hero's journey means a little different.
You're right.
The way you explained was also a very different perspective. So do you want to quickly touch upon both of these, 360 and hero's journey?
Yes. So I'll speak about the hero's journey. It's actually a book by Joseph Campbell, which is a really big fat book. I'll spare you reading it. I'll tell it to you in 30 seconds.
Sure.
But he has 12 stages, I think, but I'll just put it down to 6. And I think a lot of filmmakers, including George Lucas and the Wachowski brothers, now the sisters, use it. It's basically, in anybody's life, you first get the calling. The calling could be anything. It could be, I want to start a podcast. Okay. Or it could be, I want to leave my current job and I want to go somewhere else. So I want to start cooking. Or for me, I want to start singing. I want to learn how to sing. So that's your calling. Okay. And for all of us in our stages, this continues in different ways. And then from the calling, you get to stage 2, which is, guess what? It's denial. And you say, I can't do that. Oh, there's no way. I don't think I can speak about it. But who'll come for the podcast? But will I be able to sustain it? And this will be denial.
Yeah.
And then if you get to that stage, 99% don't get through that stage. Then you get to stage 3, which is the road of trials. And so that's the road that we're all on. But the good thing about the road of trials is that while you're on the road of trials, you'll get to something that is really important, which is why you had the calling, which is to get to self-knowledge. You begin to get to know who you are. And when you begin to get to know who you are, you get to what they call as coming home. These are my people. I'm happy here. I like this. This is who I am. And then comes stage 6, because that's something that we don't know, which is what you're doing actually. Stage 6 is passing it on.
Okay.
And consciously, I'm also trying nowadays to pass it on, because I think we're all reluctant. The generation before us perhaps were easier with the word guru and mentor and all the rest of that. This generation does not sort of agree, and nor do I. But I'm yet because I feel if you call me that, you call me a master, you'll call me a guru, you call me a mentor, then you'll retire me. Okay.
Ouch. Yeah. Okay.
So this is so, but you yet need to pass it on. So I think that's something that's really important. And so that is a very 30-second version of, since I come from advertising, must not forget.
Yeah. That was very fast and very concise, I must say.
And I did speak faster, while I was telling it, so that because it's something which is, I think, important for all our lives.
Absolutely.
Okay? And it's a constant, sort of circle.
Absolutely. I think also important for the show's theme, because many people, like you said, in the second stage of denial, they would just give up.
Yeah.
And somewhere that unstoppable spirit is also about that,
Yeah.
that there is light down the tunnel.
Well, in the sense that, like for 20 years, I said to myself, I want to sing, I want to sing, I want to sing. And I kept saying,
you didn't take the first step.
I have now taken the first step.
Now,
but
after
it took me 20 years to actually, I used to sing in school because we had a church and there was a choir and all the rest of that. And, but I just felt I had Amita has a great voice and she sings, and I just feel shy about that. And I feel, but will I be able to sing, etc. And, so all that was part of my denial kind of stage. And even now on my road of trials, as somebody who's practicing how to sing, even now I haven't actually, for the last 6-8 months, haven't gone back to my classes. I'm saying, Ram, you have to. And, because every time I'm hearing myself, I'm saying, but is that a voice that other people want to even hear?
We want to listen.
Soon, not now.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So that was on the hero's journey. On System 360, I decided to invent a system for myself because I got tired. What you're doing right now is System 360. Okay. Though I would not even use lights.
Sure.
Okay. Because I feel these are all intimidating. I don't say cut. I don't say action. I don't say rolling. I feel the word action changes the molecules in your body when you say action, and everybody starts sitting up like that, And so I try and make it easy. So from Neerja, I've not used any film lights at all. And I don't use trolleys. I don't use cranes. I don't use the industrial handcuffs of filmmaking, because I feel that actors are a little bit like wild animals who have to be caught in a National Geographic way in their natural environment. And therefore they say to me that, oh, the actors in your film are so much better. That's because for me, they are actually everything. Their landscape of their human face is everything. And so I surround themselves. Like just now, you've made me at ease. The team has made me easy to speak. You have made me easy to speak. There's nobody over here who had the discourtesy of saying, hey, battery change. Okay, hey, stop. And you get very disturbed by all of this. So of course, I'm used to all of this, but I don't do it because I feel that what is outside the frame comes into the frame.
Yes.
And it changes the energy of the space. And so thank you to the team for first respecting that there is a conversation that is happening over here. It's a big deal to be allowed to actually be there. And then we didn't even cut, and we were speaking. And so that's what I do.
Got
and
it.
I would have used a lot more than this space, and I would not have used these lights.
More depth and more natural light and maybe natural.
This is fine. Depth is not really any problem, but
natural light.
Well, in the sense that I would have then shot it within the right time and the right light. But that's because of the feature. In ads, I'm not like that. In ads, obviously, I have to light it, and I have to do all of that. But
in your first experience in ad with 360.
Yes.
It was a cola drink, or I don't know.
No, it was actually my first experience was where I really started practicing this, because I was trying to figure out, you can't tell an actor how to act. Okay, I can't tell a music director how to play music. I don't know nothing, right? Because I don't know production design. I don't know how to light. I don't know any of this. But yet I have to tell everybody what to do. So first thing I said, I can't tell an actor, you have to act like this. I can't, like, supposing if now you are my actor just now, I can't tell you what you have to do is look to your left, close your eyes, and nod your head 3 times. Okay, I can't tell you that, right?
Sure.
I have to get it out of you to make you feel that is you are here.
So quick bites we are having now from you. What's one principle from your ad days you'll never let go of besides 360?
I'll make it short, but I'll just say there were 4 things which I've said earlier, which is in advertising, you're taught what to say, You're taught how to say it. You're taught who to say it to, which is your target audience. But most importantly, what I learned was, how do I make you feel? And so a lot of my conversations, because you see the first three are hard things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people can put those down. भाई हमारा target audience ये है, हमको ये बोलना है और हमको इस तरह से हमारा tone ऐसा है. But how to make you feel is a soft thing. And a lot of my conversations with the people that I'm working with is, what should the feeling be at the end of that film that you see? I knew what the feeling would be at the end of Neerja. When the lights come on, what should that expression of that person be? So that is really what advertising has really, and that's the reason why I want to keep practicing it, because this is how I can figure out in the practicing of this ras, whether I'm reaching out or not.
Very nice. Beautiful. One word your younger self would use to describe you now.
I'm not as shy as I used to be.
Okay.
Like earlier, even if I walked down in boarding school to even walk down the assembly hall, I thought everybody was looking at me. Now I don't feel everybody's looking, but I do yet feel, even if I'm at an award ceremony or, I yet feel conscious about, some people don't get affected, but I get affected by, am I talking okay? Am I walking okay? Therefore that shyness yet remains.
Okay.
But I've begun to sort of, getting over it.
Okay. All right. A scene from your work that still gives you goosebumps. Let me take a guess. But you
tell me, because I don't think it's... No, I must say I haven't seen a lot of the work recently. I haven't watched it for a long, long time. So I don't know what that would be. I'm not like something...
from an audience perspective, I can tell.
Please.
And I'm sure it affected you and Amita, because when Sushmita went through her issue with her health.
Right.
And that scene in which she's running on the bridge and she's shot right in the middle of her heart.
Well, no, see, first of all, working with Sushmita means that, you're, in a way, you're looked after. Rather than me looking after her, she looks after the energy of the set herself. So it's a big deal. She walks into a place and she has this aura about her, which is, she is genuinely somebody is not just an actor, but also a star. She changes the energy of the room. And when we were doing that, obviously I was more worried about just making sure that, every time I asked her, so she'd do a take and I'd say, please sit down. Are you okay? Are you okay? And she'd be there, even though she was, sort of breathing heavily and all the rest, she'd say, no, did you get it, sir? Let's do it one more. Let's do it. I have to do it again. It was quite amazing to see that she was yet, sort of giving it her all. So at that time, I wasn't worrying about goose flesh at all. I was just worried about her. So, but obviously, she doesn't make you want to worry about her, because that is her character. But at the same time, like, so she wants to, and like, just be there for you, So she was there for the work and for us to make sure that she got what we wanted. So that was like really hats off to her.
Commendable.
Yeah.
One mistake you're glad you made early on?
That's a tough one, because one mistake, I'm not glad I made any of them. I think I've done more bad at films than probably anybody in the fraternity, and I'm only remembered for the good ones. But those bad films that I did remain with me. They're not mistakes that I like, but sometimes I'm not able to face the creative director. And though sometimes they may not even give me repeat purchase because I didn't do that work well, but those are the things that remain with you, the work that you screwed up or the work that didn't work. So, but those are not mistakes that I'm happy about at all. Those are mistakes that I'm beating myself up every day, and every time that I see that creative director, and like I have to put my eyes down and see, like, sort of, and obviously I have said sorry that it didn't work out, but that responsibility I hold.
Okay. It tells a bit about yourself. If the unstoppable spirit had a gender, what it would be, or would it refuse to have one?
My job as a director, I keep saying, is actually, I'm meant to have a vision as one of the things that I do, I'm meant to pass it on to the people that I'm working with. And then I'm meant to inspire people who are meant to be part of this team. And then I use various ways to inspire it. And sometimes, yes, I may be using fear. And sometimes I use laughter. And sometimes I use different forces, depending on what that person needs, okay, to get that work done. So I would say that the unstoppable part of, certainly what I do is the force that I use is unstoppable, because that is something which, and that is a creative force that anybody must have. But now I'm yet learning how to use that force in a more gentle way.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn how to use that force in a way in which the other person at the receiving end of that force, because sometimes that force has to be impatient. And so sometimes that force has to be something which uses passion in a way in which the other person may not receive it as that. And so there is a certain, how shall I say, severity.
Does Ram get angry ever?
Yeah, if you ask my team, all the time. And all the time I'm saying to myself, I wish I hadn't said that.
Okay. I mean, that's also subjective. What you call anger and how the other person receives it.
But I feel that I can certainly be lighter, easier than I am.
Okay.
And I feel that I'm not as light and easy as, I think that the word, like Leonard Cohen said, that he was told that enlightenment comes from being light.
Simple, huh?
As simple as that. Enlightenment is coming from being light. My clothing now is definitely lighter than it was, though it is black, but still in terms of the feeling of it, there is a certain lightness that I am, and a certain casual informality that I'm practicing in the clothing, but I have yet not begun to practice, or I have begun, but I'm yet in that, process of trying to figure a little more casual informality in the passion with which I'm working.
Okay. A follow-up question. What's your, what's your personal reset between that chaos and calm?
See, first of all, I think that the middle of all of this, humble arrogance, informal formality, chaotic organization, this is where one lives. Okay, it is in the middle of these two things, of these two contradictions, that one lives. I cannot
Duality.
Exactly. And it is in that tightrope that I walk. And that middle way is basically what, and that means it is doubtful confidence. It is that. You cannot just be confident and you cannot just be doubtful. And you have to
keep bringing it in between.
Yeah, you have to have this. Yeah, you have to have this, which is you have to have something which is self-critical without it becoming self-debilitating. But obviously you cannot not be self-critical. Now, how do you be self-critical without it actually being something that, sort of really ruins you? Or how do you be confident without it actually being something that makes your work, suffer?
Yeah.
So this is really optimistically pessimistic.
Thank you. Ram, we really don't want to let go of you. And I know
unstoppable. We are all unstoppable. But,
so finish this sentence. Being unstoppable means what to you?
A rejection is something which, as a filmmaker, you're facing all the time. Okay, and I have written 20 scripts, fully with dialogue screenplays, not myself, but with teams of writers, which we've paid, and that's a lot of money that we've spent in developing work, out of which my fruition ratio is 1. Okay, that means 19 of them haven't worked out. Okay, and they're on the shelves. Now, when I'm working on the next 6, which is what I'm doing currently, the energy with which I'm working on the next 6 every day okay, and in the car, whether I'm going to work or every day, that energy is something which has to be exactly the same every day. You cannot let that be something which is stoppable, because unstoppable is something which means that you have to get out there and keep at it.
So
Keep at it.
for a very defined purpose and a vision, the energy anyway will be unstoppable, because that's what the fuel it requires, right?
Well, when you're writing and you're rewriting and you're trying to see, and then somebody tells you, ye jam nahi raha hai isko, and you're revisiting and you're redoing it all the time, it is something which takes effort.
Yeah.
It is not something that comes, so I think unstoppable means that you have to actually be, and also, currently the responsibility of that unstoppability is mine. I cannot let my team be at the receiving end of me stopping, because there is a whole bunch of people out there. So if I stop, then they stop.
Sure.
So I think that unstoppability is something which is not personal.
Okay.
It is a collective thing.
Collective.
Yeah, it's because अगर family में समझो आप रुक गए, तो पूरी family रुक जाएगी. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so I think I've had a great time.
Thank you. We can continue, but we shall spare everybody the unstoppable part of us.
Yeah, but I know you have a hard stop, and we don't want to keep you waiting.
No, thank you.
From your next appointment.
Yeah. It's just an art exhibition that I have to go to.
Yes. No, but equally important for your stimulus and for your
for my
inspiration. Your unstoppability.
Yeah.
But thanks for today.
No, thank you for including, the random man into this show.
No,
I really feel sometimes like, when I'm called on to panels also, because having done Neerja, Aarya, that because they're female oriented, etc. So sometimes they say, who shall we get onto this panel of women? And then they call this one random man because it has to be gender, parity. And now that gender parity, I'm at the receiving end of, which is, अच्छा एक आदमी को भी बुला लो यार.
No, Ram, I think you, like for me, it's, you have reinvented yourself.
I'm yet continuing.
And you're continuing, and you are actually living that spirit every day, and we are very, very motivated and inspired
completely
by
out of fear.
And we won't call you master, but we will call you masterpiece.
Please.
Thank you so
Learn
much.
a piece.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ram.
Thank you.
Thank you.